I mean, I know personally for me, when I'm listening to a song, I'll look how many views they might have on Spotify first, and then that'll kind of indicate whether I click on the song or not. What about you?
Personally, I always find that people are more inclined to listen to a song that's more popular. If I find an
Yeah.
artist, even if they have like a really, really, really good song, but it's like hasn't got that many views and they're kind of an emerging artist, I'll take an interest in it. But whether I'll save it and add it to a playlist is more questionable.
I think it's almost a subconscious thing, isn't it? Like if you go onto a Spotify page and they've got like less than 1,000 monthlies, you automatically think they're not a great band, even though the music can be as good as someone with like 100,000. It's like an emerging artist, like you say, it's such a hard place to start off from because like you're already on the back foot and it's hard to get those streams up straight away, however good your music is, you know.
No, yeah, no. I just think it's funny because obviously, Nathan, you're saying that I guess it's harder for if you're a smaller band and you're ultimately going to get less views, especially at the start, than a bigger band. I mean, it's funny, James, that you said that you wouldn't initially save it just because of the views, or would there be a really good song that might have, let's say, 100 views, or on Spotify it's like less than 1,000 that you wouldn't that you would save instead or not?
Probably not. I think it links back to what Nathan's just said. Like, I think it's like a subconscious thing. I'm just gonna say, I think everyone that kind of listens to music, not everyone. That's a bit of a sweeping statement. I say the majority of people are kind of like a sheep, and that doesn't mean necessarily that you always listen to the mainstream top 40, but as in the sense that everyone prefers music that's kind of well known in a way.
They can be quite unreliable as well. Like you see bands that we played with that can sell out a lot of tickets and be really good sort of live and can have barely any on Spotify. It's just about where you put your effort in. If you put all your effort into Spotify, you're probably going to have a lot of listeners, but you're not going to have particularly many fans because you're not gigging a lot or you're not doing a lot on social media. So I don't think it's the most reliable in that sense as well.
That's the
Yeah,
thing with
definitely.
Spotify as well. It just judges how many times someone's listened to you, but it doesn't really judge how big that person's fan base is.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not true of fans, is it? You can have loads and loads of listeners, but they might not even know who you are apart from that song. They might not know anything about the band. They might never click on your Instagram or even on your profile. If you're in a playlist, they might just listen to you and like the song, but never do anything from that.
I think the stuff that I look is, like when you judging how successful a band or an artist is, it's kind of like how consistently high their view count is and their monthlies. Because for example, I've seen so many bands, or where they've got maybe like 1 million views on one of their songs, and their other songs they've got like 15,000 views, and probably just that one song got put into a playlist and stuff. And then you can also go on their Instagram page, and they probably don't have that many followers or that many likes. So I mean, the way like I would judge a band is if they've got consistently a lot of views on each song and a lot of monthlies, and that's probably then I'll kind of make a judgment. Probably it's all subconscious about whether I would add it to my playlist or not. But
Are you usually jumping straight to Spotify? Because I know something like for me personally, if I like a band, big or small, it doesn't matter. If I listen to quite a few of their songs, I'll probably listen to about 30, 40 seconds of it, and then I'll jump straight onto their YouTube. Usually in hopes to find some sort of music video. And then if I like them a bit more, I would hope there'd be some sort of like behind the scenes or some maybe tour video that can kind of get you more connected to them and each kind of band member or artist.
personally, obviously, it all depends where you discover them. But typically, I would probably, let's say I've listened to a couple of their songs, the next place I would go to would be Instagram, not YouTube. And then I would look on, now obviously
Why
you've
is
got, just because that's where you kind of see, for me, that's where you really see, the behind the scenes stuff, who they really are and that kind of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, because people, they have stories, people post videos of what they're doing here and there, and
Yeah.
Instagram's literally become the means to gauge the success of a band. It's all about how many Instagram followers kind of thing. Music and musicians is all about like Instagram, I personally think, more than like YouTube. YouTube I would go to for like a music video.
I don't know, it's funny because James and Nathan and I were talking about how if you look at in terms of genres, I always find it and how they and the correlation to how many tickets they always sell, it always seems like, say, take an indie band like Nothing But Thieves or Blossoms or even Circle Waves, for instance, and they can sell out Brixton Academy or something, and they might not have 1 million followers and they might not get 100,000 likes on every post they do. But then you'll have more pop artists or even kind of these trap or rap artists. I guess take that 6ix9ine, for example. And if he came here, I'd question how many tickets he could actually sell if he came to London. But I don't know, because I don't know if looking at how many followers they have correlates to how many tickets they can sell, which I guess is the most important thing if we're talking about fans. And
let's say you've promoted money into one of your really good songs and you get on the playlist and stuff. There's not enough surrounding content, to then convert those listeners into fans, and it's all about the fans. And I was speaking to someone yesterday who works in the music industry, and I said, would you prefer an artist to have 1 million streams on their song, but out of those 1 million only 2,000 are fans, or would you prefer to have 5,000 streams and out of those 5,000 streams 5,000 are fans? And he said the 5,000 streams and the 5,000 fans.
Yeah, so I think it's people who are going to invest in you as much as listening to the song is like a small part of being a fan. If you're a fan, you want to buy the merch, you want to go to the gigs and support them and spread through word of mouth. So I think it's definitely more important to have fans if you want to grow. I think going back to the Spotify streams is quite an unreliable thing, because basically you can get into loads of playlists somehow, then you can look a lot more popular than you are. It doesn't mean you can have no fans and be in loads of Spotify playlists just because someone's added you in sort of on the off chance, and then from that you can grow. You might have no fans and be in that sort of situation, but then you can have loads of fans without the same Spotify playlist traction, and you can have less listeners. So I definitely think if you want to grow as an artist, it's all about having fans who are actually going to sort of go out their way to want to support you and promote you to a greater extent than just listening to your music.
So just going back to the Spotify thing, if you could now, you had the power to say, all right, no one can see the amount of views I've got on Spotify for any of my songs. They're just there. You have my top 5 and whatever other songs you've got. Would you take it, or would you keep it exactly the way it is?
Talking from our perspective, like an emerging band, it would probably be to our benefit that people can't see how many streams and stuff we've got, because if people like-minded to us think that, if they don't have that many streams, I'm not going to follow them, then that means our kind of music could end up doing amazingly well, and everyone that listens it could become a fan because they don't think that this band's kind of small. Because today Spotify is a way to gauge a band's success and popularity. Then it kind of, I think, maybe comes down to the second thing that you do after Spotify, which for you said YouTube, and for me, as I said, Instagram, and that will kind of maybe affect whether you follow the band or not.
But why to know X amount of views publicly, why does that matter to the art? What do you think, Nathan?
I think there's a fine line in there between being able to see if you're growing as an artist, and then just the vanity, seeing you've got loads and loads of streams, but what do they actually mean? So I don't know if because when they are public, I think you can quite easily get sort of obsessed with them for the wrong reasons. You can think the number one target has got to be trying to hit this number of streams on Spotify, and I think there's two sides to it. I think in a sense it's healthy because ultimately you want your music to be heard by loads and loads of people. So in that sense, and I think if it is public, there's more of an inclination to want to grow it on Spotify. I think that's what we like as people. We want people to be seen as a successful band, especially if we are growing. So in that sense, I think there's negative sides to it. I think it can get you obsessed with the wrong things and can potentially be quite bad for your mental health, in a sense. If you put loads and loads of effort into releasing a song and it gets barely any streams, it's not gonna, and everyone can see it. There's almost like a pride factor in that.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, because I think part of me would say let's take it out, but then tomorrow if we hit 1 million views, there's definitely a part of me, how big or small it is, I don't know, but that would want to show people that we got 1 million views.
I think there's a practical element to it as well, because like people want to listen to popular music, like the most popular music, and I think getting rid of the stream count, I'm sure Spotify would still be able to find a way to sort of show you the most popular songs. But I think like there's such a big pop audience who want to be listening to the most popular songs at the minute. I think if you get rid of the stream count, then you're gonna lose all of that. A lot of people on Spotify who are looking for like what is the most popular song at the minute. I think you can easily, from a business point of view for them almost, like I think you can lose out on a lot of streams because people don't know who to listen to. They can't just see a big number and think, oh, this must be alright.
I think, probably, yeah, from a business perspective, I can see it. But I just feel artistically, it does. I don't know. It just tarnishes before you listen to it. Straight away, as I'm listening to a song and it's got X amount of views, you already have these like preconceived ideas of what it's just bad of what it might sound like or how good could it be. But
Does Apple Music show the amount of streams?
no, it doesn't. If I'm correct, I don't think it does. I know it's got your top 5, but no, because look, I also like the views because I like seeing small bands. I actually prefer listening to small bands and checking them out than listening to Drake and what he has to say.
In a sense, it's almost counterproductive doing it, because I think if you say you can't see the streams on Spotify and you want to find out more about the bands, what do? You just go onto Instagram anyway, and you'll check out Instagram, and Instagram metrics are still there. So I think if you want it to be like a really complete thing, you've got to get rid of like how many face likes you can see on Instagram. Like I think it's almost just a means to an end otherwise.
Truth's gonna save you, lies gonna break through the world, wants to own you, you know. But when the man starts knocking